I think this is a deep topic. I think firstly, a man have to realize in position in society of what is his responsibility of being a man before he have to know what it is to be a man before he can understand what his responsibilities of a man is. The problem we have is that most men don't understand them responsibility as men because they didn't have fathers growing up with. Nobody to part them, nobody to nurture them, nobody to guide them on what is acceptable and not acceptable. This is one of the biggest problems we have because men supposed to be the backbone of a society. It is our men that lead normal nature life is that men lead the family and the household. That has broken down because men to some extent have diverted from the family role now and have left it for years to women. Women in Jamaica academically are doing much better than men. In most corporations and most organizations you have, it is women that are leading it. The men have gone backbone to the point where now we see that a woman will lead the JDF, and that speaks volumes. But me could get back to the topic. Men have a great role for playing in the fight against crime because it's men that commit the crime. Majority of the crime is men that commit it. And so, what role models, these men are having kids, what role model them are set for the generation who will come after them? What role model are these shatters are set? Because you have a generation now where them youth are baby father. I grew up and I see them father in some tight pants and bleach out face and I do nothing productive. Why you think gonna happen? So men have a great role for playing, understanding that if he wants to see Jamaica better, if his own mindset is that he wants a productive Jamaica that he can live and feel safe in, then he must realize that his role as a man, as a father, is for carry up him child in such a way which him going to contribute significantly to Jamaica. So a man's responsibility in Jamaica is against crime and violence in Jamaica is very, very significant because of his actions and his responsibility as a man and what him see as being important, that he is a leader. As a father, you automatically become a leader, and your responsibility as a leader is to have a vision of where you're going to lead your family, where you're going to lead your community, what direction you're going to put them in, right? And how you're going, the responsibility to speak out against things where you see in your community that is not right. So as a man, you got to stand up for justice. So if you see criminality going on in your community, it's your responsibility regardless of who one call you informer, as a man, for protect the elderly, the children and the women, and in so doing, you're going to fight against crime. That's another way again.
My view, the way me feel about it is too much masculine energy afloat through Jamaica. Too much masculine energy. When I say that, my meaning, you talk to some Jamaican girl, my lad, and listen to what them talk like man and sound like man, my brother. You know what I mean? Too much masculine energy, no. Feminine energy, no there. When I say that, my mean, no caring, no there no more. No caring in the youth, them, no love in the youth, them. Me personally feel saying that every ghetto, you have to have an elder. Or if not, say elder in the school, a lot of these ghetto schools. And every school at Jamaica need to have counselor where those children can at least talk to their counselor at least once or twice a week. for basically deal with their mind from the trauma them face from for them father not being around. A lot of them are them father get killed in a war, and for can be able to help them, for have vision, for can stand up when them get old and stand up and hold certain meds, because it's this, you know. Some of you, them, you know, that follow, them a follow, you know. Them a follow, you know, what them see, you know, and what is the thing, you know. What is the thing? To have money. So girl can't love you, because girl don't want a broke pocket man and anything. So if enough of them can't find a job and certain things, and them not look no job. So them a look much work, so look a bit of money and go on with a bag of things, a little bit of money for go impress woman and drink a bag of champagne and go on with a bag of foolishness. So me think say at least them can implement that for help the youth them, because you have to start from the foundation if you want change in the community. You know what I mean? All of them elder there in the community where they fight the war, but then it's for them duty to come back and steer the youth them in a right way. You know what I mean? Because, you know, remember, you know, them claims that they was community defender and them a defend community. So now when them put on them gun, why them can't mentor some youth and show them, say, you see, we're nothing happened this for we, you know. You see me still there, so with you. And ray. So we need certain things, certain initiative, and the government need to make it an initiative to help them youths. You know what I mean? Because your youth is the future, you know, of tomorrow, you know. You want a brighter tomorrow, you have to focus on the youths, because elderly and older people kind of stuck in them ways, so it's harder for them to change. But a youth, if you can show him something different, watch him make different. You know what I mean? So that is the thing. The youth them need some mentorship program to get them out of the community, show them different things. You know what I mean? Show them a different side of Jamaica, not just the side, because some of them people don't have it to take them nowhere else. You know what I mean? So I them thing they for go on, so the man have a whole heap of responsibility in the place, because of the man them go on with actually majority of the foolishness. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? And the woman them also have a responsibility in the try steer the youth them right too. You know what I mean? So the whole society, the whole community, the community have a responsibility for shelter all youths. You know what I mean? Yeah, from certain things. They're not supposed to see certain things and certain, you know what I mean? Yeah.
The role of a man in the fight against crime with these youths is to accept being a man, know what it is to be a man, and the role of a man. And if that man do get a child, is accept the fact that he's a father and what it takes to be a father. Isn't it? Not just spending money or sending money, whichever way you want it. He's being active in that child's life. You understand me? I say? And so you're going to see outcome and result. The father or the man in the child's life have to be active. Isn't it? I mean active in the bully and you understand, show the child love. You understand what I say? Give the youth a certain experience. You understand? So the youth now forget trapped by the community, and the community now forget grow the youth. You get what I say? Because that's why enough of the youths are not stray, because of the community have grow them. You understand? Rather than the parent or the mother and the father grow them. You see me? So them have to just do what them see cool and what look good and what have meaning to them. So you have to give you meaning in them life. You can't just leave them to the community. And you can't just leave them and not depend on government. You understand? Because government don't know about them when them see them on the news. You see me? Government don't know about them if them get certain achievements. You get what I say? Government don't know about them until them name call upon something. You get what I say? Whether good or bad. So we as man have to be the example and role model for the youth and take responsibility for the youth. Not by just as I say, send the money, go give them. You understand? That is not nurture a youth or nurture a child, whether a girl or a boy. You understand? Because teenage pregnancy have a lot to do with these kids going astray too. You get what I say? But no father not dead. for guide the teenager them, so they might get pregnant early. You see me? So all these things have to take in consideration. Woman I get pregnant too early in a school and them things. So kids are grow kids and them little thing there. So we have to start looking at not just the father figure, but what caused these youths so unruly, because your father a bit nearly the same age. You understand what I say? So it's hard to discipline a youth when you and him basically the same age and same size. You see me? And by the time the authorities know about the youth, it's too late. Him don't get spoiled already because him give trouble from him at 5, 6. You understand? So it's a widespread where I feel look on wide.
Alright, my brother Barefoot. I nah knock nobody, everybody, I nah knock no one. You know what I mean? But I think in a way, same way video games impact the Grand Theft Auto shooting and a whole heap of things. But I think religion have a lot to do with crime, especially in Jamaica. Jamaica has the most church per square mile than any other country. You know what I mean? And crime is so high. To tell a man that you can go around and say, kill John Tom, and all you have to do is go through the church door and repent, and your sin shall be taken away. That's a blanket. That's like a safety blanket you give him for just unleash destruction upon humanity. You know what I mean? When you give a man a blanket like that with religion, what do you expect him to do with that tool? He's going to unleash whatever I need to unleash by humanity. So, I think say in many ways, is how society want to think and we not love one another again, because within Jamaica, like think about the culture of Jamaica. Most parents don't tell them kids, say them love them. Father now tell them son, say, yo, I love you. Him thinks a batty man thing that. You see where I come from? So it's more of a, like I say, it's a masculine energy a flow through Jamaica, where is no such thing. Them not deal with feminine energy. You know what I mean? Them things say feminine energy all the time is a batty man thing, which is not. You know what I mean? A feminine energy is the side basically of a woman. A woman care for thing and she nurture thing. So why a man can invoke some nurture in his life? Nurture your youth and care for him. You know what I mean? Just as you care for yourself. You see where I come from? So a them thing there, the youth them don't have no role model for look up to, cause everybody with them look up to 9 times out of 10. A bad man them a look up to. I look on it, bad man. I have a few ballers for look up to. And a few track star. But majority, bad man. You see me, I come name them. And them see with the big bike, the big this and the big that. Scammers them, and them see with the big this, the big that. And them say, yo, that more. And them see what them a do for do it. You know what I mean? So, the youth them need to start see productive people within them community have up things to and can show them, say, yo, you can do it the right way. I have something. You know what I mean?
Let me break down what you said, because you said many things. You started off by saying you're not offender, you're not got nobody. Firstly, let us get this clear. When questions are asked like this, everybody, I think one of the misconceptions we have is that when we have a point, we're saying it's the only point. Everybody, there are many different ways and many different avenues and many different solutions and many different problems. So all of us just having our input and what we think is not none of us against the other. Cause I think in many discussion group we have that problem where we say, I make my point and it sounds like I'm saying that's the only way. That's just one of the way, then you have your way. Secondly, you went on about the church. I personally don't think the church, the country has become more secular. I don't think that the church has that much impact again. I think years ago you would have been saying, you could have said that youths were being influenced and impacted by the church to say it's an easy way out. But I don't think these youths now have that interest in the church like when I was growing up, to have that impact to that many youths to say, okay, this is an easy way out. I personally don't think so. As a matter of fact, it is not. Jamaica has become much more secular now than before. The churches might be there, but not the church is full of women, them empty. So it's not like much youth are geared towards that anyway, right? Last thing I talk about, which is good, I think yes, love. We have a masculine society. Love is one of the things that this generation they don't know. It's social values. Ian Boy used to talk about it. The good mornings, the hello, your brother's keeper, all of that. This set a generation. And it's because I think it's the lack of moral values from parents. Because everything starts with leadership and end with leadership. It's parenting again. If the parents don't inculcate love in the child, where them going to get it from? If the parents don't hug and kiss and embrace the child and thank them, where them going to get it from? But then it can be argued that many parents have done that and have still suffer the loss of the child to the youth them on the corner or the influence of that. So there's many cases where children have gotten love but still have diverted. Why you say to those kids? That's why I'm saying you can't, it's not just any one way, because you have many ways where people have grown into, where people have come into decent homes and still turn out to be a criminal. That is why you have nature, and in a criminology you have nature and nurture, which drive crime. Some crime is not about nurture. Some crime is inherited. Some crime, people that say are sociopaths genetically, psychopaths genetically, which them say is a dysfunction and a farming of the brain will cause certain people to behave certain way. Because according to criminologists, is either nature or nurture that drive criminality. And what you are talking about is the social aspect of it. But they do say, they have said, and studies have shown, where people were born a certain way too, genetically. Believe it or not.
In my view, alright, most of the man them touch on what I would say, so it makes sense me regurgitate those. But God, culture and mindset are one. Men, we lead, we are the head of the household. But society and feminism in the West have slowly crept into our society. Meaning, our nation, which is a black man, the ones that were brought from Africa here, we suffer from certain disadvantage. Reason why I say that. On the plantation, our masters saw us as cattle. The plantation owners would rape our women, and the stud, the black man, which was the standout one by physique and all of that, was made to be a stud. Just like how now a farmer would have his chief animal, which is a stud that other farmers would come and bring the cattle to breed up. So yes, psychologically it started there. Alright. After emancipation, we were people trying to find ourselves, because emancipation came about in the 19th century, in the 1800s, right? In the 1930s, as I look back, my people were humble, but there was more of a family structure. Men would be in the home. We are still under colonial rule, but men was trying to be a part of the society, so We take more pride in our appearance and our morals then. Alright. Since independence, according to history that I've read and seen, it was that bad, but in the 60s when free love and feminism pick up in America, that culture have slowly crept into our society. So the 90s and the late 80s, women became more liberated, and one man for a volleyball girl culture came in. Don't get me wrong, you know, back in my grandmother days and grandfather days, the difference was men were married to their wives, but they went out there and get some unwedded kids, but they never leave their family. Some men even take home those unwedded kids to their wives, and the women were more respectful of their men. Then they were hurt and they felt away, but the man was a leader, he was a breadwinner. So they would gradually accept that child, and that child would be raised up in the family. But as I said, since the late 80s and the early 90s, that has changed. We have seen a lot more single moms raising kids. Some of them don't even have the facets of how to deal with a young man in his adolescence, when he's becoming a teenager. Right? I get tongue-tied. So in those stages, we are more of a rebellious nature. So we succumb to peer pressure. What we see on the movies, the music that we are listening, telling us that we must have volleyball girl and man must have volleyball sex with all different type of women, and you were seen as a nerd, as a weirdo, if it was a one burner. As me grew up in the 90s, you know, so me see all this, right? So we just went around, have sex, unprotected sex, didn't even realize what sex was about and the consequences of having sex. So the kids were born, they were left for the mother. The girl can't come to some of the man them and say anything else, a war and disrespect and all of that. So hence we have women raising kids. Women are emotional creatures, nurturing, we love them. But when it comes to logic and reasoning thing, that wasn't in the home. There were no more men role models there doing the right thing. Like you'd see a young man looking at a police officer and say, I want to be like him. The role models were the dancehall artists, and they are all portraying a certain lifestyle, being promiscuous, encouragement to be promiscuous. So the young men have been grown by women with emotional tendencies who just react to things. They don't think out any. Ladies, please, it's not an aspiration. I'm just saying. Science have proved this. Women are emotional. So our young men don't know how to reason things. No logic is there. So if a man tell them, say, boy, yo, you're this and you're that, them just run to violence because they appeal to them emotion. Man step on your toe and war that. And I like in my days when you thump and kick and you might throw a stone, which was the ideal because stone can kill you too. Man, I go for peace and come kill you. So, my view, I know that I'm not tired, but it's rough, my brother. I can remember when I was going to school, they used to teach a thing like civic. And I can remember the nuclear family being praised and encouraged. I don't think that's going on in our education system anymore. Because as I said, feminism have wrecked not only Jamaica, but the Western society. Where women feel like they are the be all and end all. They don't need a man. They just need... I've been around educated women who have stuff. Them no ugly or nothing. But they don't want a man. They just want a sperm bank. A man for whatever with them. And then that's it. Them don't want a man in their life. So it affects us educational wise, entertainment wise, TV. Now we have smartphone, YouTube and all of that. So there come the degradation of our society and the breakdown of our society because men are being less appreciated. The men that are being idolized are portraying vulgarity, violence, right? The young ladies have become more promiscuous. They don't have a father figure to show them real love. So the conveyor belt just continues. It's on a psychological, emotional, and an educational level. It's rooted in our society. So it's going to be hard for us. As I often said, we have to just start with the newborn to the 6-year-olds now and see if we can change that mindset. Bless everyone.
Yes, I like the explanation there, or the analogy there. Or you say it, you know, the life of Jamaican people and Jamaican sitting and sitting. You know, say the people of Jamaica, them afraid to tell our next person so them love them or your parents. You know, your parents don't really show you that kind of love. Most parents, they don't really hold, they don't really grab all them son or daughter and just hug them and tell them they love them and all them something. You see me I say? So we have a disconnect with that. You know, me a 48-year-old too, when me a 30 something. The first your mother said she loved me. And over the phone behind the bars. You see me I say? After the first time I ever hear it, she said she loved me. And even right now, we still feel a disconnect from her still, because it just feel weird, you know, how she behaves sometimes. You see me I say, towards our own. Like you feel like a stranger. You see me I say, even with the father too. So, you know, yeah, the society, it have a thing, oh, me no love man. Me don't go love you. You know, I like that ridiculousness. You see me I say. And yeah, the church, you might think the church was the one who gave you good morals, but it wasn't the church, you know. You understand? Because the morals are moral is not for the church. Because the morals in the Bible is crazy. So we can't get no good morals from the church, but we want to say that's what it is, you know, because the Bible said, because the Bible says some crazy stuff. And we pick and choose who we want out of it. So, you know, and it's all because of fear. So them tell you, you got hell if you don't do this, you got this, and this is going to happen to you, to keep the people them in line. So in a percentage, I can say, yes, you're right about that. But another part, I can say, it really make us really be ignorant and stupid when it comes to understanding life itself and how life works. You understand? But I like what you said about that though. But you know, that is just my assessment to what you said.